Testing 1 2. So first we'll start off with our scanners. What I'm seeing up right now, CNY, or leading the day with volume is CNY right now, but a recent one that just popped up was DCX, up 7 million shares traded. And have XPON. CX, what is your catalyst? Catalyst looks like it regains compliance with NASDAQ minimum market value of listed securities requirement. That clients, right? And we got XPON out here down. All right, for the non-micros, we have SCR of 55%. You have GCTS up around 21%. Those are our leaders, really the things that are getting close to or have already gotten to 10 million shares traded in pre-market. Yes, CTS went up here to 151 and came on down. Collaboration. It had news on January 6th and January 13th. This was kind of a reiteration of that news. And so that's what I was seeing this morning on that. The reiterated news was at 5:55. It says that let's see, scroll down a little bit. This collaboration positions both companies at the forefront of emerging or growing 5G to space networks to deliver coverage globally. So, yeah, this collaboration for a little bit of expansion into space. I believe this one was a higher float. Well, see, CT semiconductor holding licensing agreement, satellite. They didn't even name who the satellite, whatever, kind of vague. Leading satellite communications provider to accelerate global 5G connection. That's vague, right? A catalyst there. We'll see if anything else wants to lead other than CX on the regaining of compliance. It's almost a 10 million shares traded. See if I see anything else coming up the board or heat or catalyst driven. Intel popped back up quite a bit. Microsoft, Adobe dropped 15%. See y'all. About to hit the top of the hour in about 10 minutes. Waiting for that to come through. anything wants to really take the lead. SCR volume. Oh, no catalyst. Let's jump over here to Yahoo Finance. Check out the news. Meta stock surges as market cheers 135 billion AI spending plan. Microsoft stock sinks amid AI layoff concerns. China metals mania since copper rocketing past 14,000. Investors punish big tech AI spending. Investors punish big tech AI spending that delivers slower growth. Tesla stock rises on earnings beat. Oil climbs from 4-month high as Trump ramps up Iran threats. Tesla scraps Model S and Model X to be robots. Upwind raises 250 billion at 1.5 billion valuation. Apple hired iPhone camera app. Oh my, whatever that is. Dow cut about 4,500 jobs as emphasis shifts to AI and automation. Brent crude tops $70 per barrel on Iran attack concerns. Comcast shield for broadband customers. Wireless company bounce. Caterpillar flags 2.6 billion tariff hit at 2026. Tesla, Frontier rate cuts may not appear until here. Apple Q1 earnings. All right, yeah, we are in the earnings season, and I believe the intention is going to get more and more spread out until it comes back to small caps, unless we actually get a good catalyst in the small caps. Then I'm thinking it's gonna turn around quite quickly. That's usually how it goes. There's a spark, a big move, and then people get excited and they just start trading anything that's going up. Then it cools off. Then the next spark, huge move. And then during that kind of cold period where it's kind of cooling off, you have some stocks or some catalyst that looks really good, but it gets no follow through. Things with no catalyst over the top of it, outperforming it, and then it cools off. So what I'm trying to do is get those ideas noted, and when it does get hot, see if those things come back into play. Those tickers that are overlooked, oversold. Six minutes until the top of the hour. At the overall NQ, seeing that It had a nice little run up yesterday, but it's starting to close under ATRs here. Came up and kind of bumped its head here on this ATR. And we see that a lot. A lot of times it'll kind of straddle the ATR and then it'll start getting up, taking a ride up higher, higher, continue to break over ATRs, and then all of a sudden it's his head on some type of ceiling. So it may be a little bit of sell-off time. It's been a wild ride up here. We'll see what small caps can do the opposite of what the stock it do the opposite of what the stock market is doing. So if it's going down, what can be going up? Or not just the small caps, but anything that has catalyst. ECX is about to get 10 million shares traded. Number 4 on the day right now. Up 58%. Has given back about $1 in this move down here. TI. All right, 2 minutes away from the top of the hour, or less than 2 minutes. So on was that Monday or whatever, this kind of looks like the trade that I took on Monday, Tuesday. I can't remember which day it was. But it came up here and I didn't really read the news. I just saw the setup and got in. And it went up like this. And it did exactly what this one is doing, but I've already looked at the catalyst. It's a vague catalyst. It says that they got a collaboration with some leading satellite communications company. They didn't name the company, and it's just selling off, selling off, selling off. Now, this news isn't new. This news was already talked about on January 6th. Then an analyst came in and said, hey, I think this is a buy for January 13th, right? Now it's the 29th. It came up here and is selling off kind of harshly. I'm not in it, not giving that profit back. I saw when it was around here, just like the last time, pump up and then a nice little sell out for the rest of the day. CX coming on down. So we have hit the top of the hour. 7 o'clock. Xpun recently had its earnings come out around the 13th as well. So they had a stockholder letter come out, and then they had press release on earnings. No fresh news on Xpun. ECX continues to sell off. All he did was regain compliance, so there's nothing there. Looking for things that aren't 20% strugglers, things that are getting over 20% and holding, keeping their gains. DCX continue to give back more and more. Now under $4, it was up at $5.84 and has given up all of that money because of a weak catalyst. Regain compliance. Only up 28%, so it's in the 20s. It may be a 20% struggler here into the open. Xpun still up 26%, but really hasn't made any more moves up. No fresh news. GCTS. Again, just like I said, had a same setup that I took earlier and continued to sell all the way back to where it started. This is exactly what the other one did to me. I was holding, and when it came down here towards the open, I was adding, looking for it to rebound, but it never did. Sold off, sold off, sold off. I was adding when I shouldn't even have been adding. I should have been reading, seeing why it was selling off like that. So micro floats that we got, waiting for something else to really show its head. But the thing is, the more volume these get, this one has 16 million, 15 million, 13 million. The harder it's going to be for something new popping up to compete with these. Unless it just has a catalyst, because it will probably beat all three of these if it has a catalyst. Right now, it's a lot of people watching these TV channels. Over here on the non-micro, same thing. We got 37 million up here on SER and GCTS. So all of the rest of these have a lot of work to do. They're either doubled or tripled in volume by the top two, which don't even have good catalysts. It may be one of those days where people have to really, or it might be one of those days where it's like a freaky day where there's something that pops up intraday. But a lot of times I'm doing better on things that do have some pre-market action rather than just getting to the open and exploding, because then there's no structure, no trends, no nothing. I'm kind of left without any type of roadmap. Okay, we got some new ones popping in. GKTC or GCTK, my bad. GCTK popping up there. Popped to a possible daily level that I had marked previously. I don't know when did I do the mark? That was on 9/07/2025 that I made this possible daily level mark. Came up there and hit it though. It says that it got an approval for issuance of patents for a proprietary CBGM platform. And it says that the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office has issued patents for GlucoTrack's continuous blood glucose monitoring platform. All right, so it's up 57%. We also had another one pop up here, ASBP. ASBP has a little bit of catalyst behind it. Let's see. They secured an agreement with Microsize for development of novel sublingual aspirin. So maybe that's a collaboration or something, but these two look like they can get a little bit of heat behind them. GCTK. Was that a Chinese stock? GCTK? Let's see, let me. Gluco track. Oh, it's out of New Jersey. So GlucoTrack, a medical device company, focuses on the development and in implantable continuous blood glucose monitor for people with diabetes in the United States. The company develops GlucoTrack, a non-invasive glucose monitoring device that helps people with diabetes and pre-diabetics to obtain blood glucose level readings without the pain through a small sensor clipped onto the earlobe. It is also developing GlucoTrack CB, whatever, long-term implantable blood. Okay. All right. So it's diabetes, blood glucose out of Rutherford, New Jersey, 11 employees. It's a healthcare, medical instruments, and supplies. Um, yeah. So it went up there and hit that daily level once again. And let me see where the next daily level. Okay. So 976 up there. It's up 48%. So it's definitely well above 20%. Let's look at previous news here. Yeah, this is the latest news. Let me go. Okay, 8 minutes ago. But it's definitely marching up the old tree there. There's like creation, acquisition, merger. Oh, just patents. US. Oh boy, these long patents. But all of them were issued October 28th, November 4th, November 4th, 2025. got patented. Oh, from 2025, all three of them were in 2025. I don't see six. So this is kind of like a repeat of the previous news. I will notate their patents here. Okay, so we got all of them were pretty long. Oh well, it'll be on my daily chart. I'll see it across the map. But yeah, just patents, not really any kind of phase one, phase two, or whatnot. So they're already to the point where they can kind of connect them, or they have the idea purchased. They can sell that patent, but don't think they are going to. We need to see more like, hey, we've tested this. You know, this many people have bought it or ordered it, XYZ, but they're not talking about any of that. So back towards the 20 percentile, going on down there, GTCK. And it makes sense. I mean, people they go and that initial run up is bots selling or buying, and then the bots kind of look through it, and they can look through it way faster than we can, and they'll sell way faster than we can. So that's what that is. Just a nice little bot sell off into the 20% range. So it's becoming a 20% struggler. It's got 7 million shares traded. Yeah, a lot of sell off right there. Almost a round trip, straight up, straight down. No kind of ebb and flow in there. RaceCon says GCTK. What do those red and green imaginary dotted lines? Those are the ATRs from previous day. So whatever the closing price is, it's going to add and subtract the ATR from the previous day. So it got above the ATRs, which means that it's irregular. It's moving up at an irregular place outside of the normal ATR. Let me see how big its ATR is. The ATR on it is ATR on it is 39 cents. So 39 cents is its normal ATR. So it went from the close of yesterday, added 39 cents, subtracted 39 cents. I just use this to say, okay, well, is this thing really irregular? Is it actually moving up big? Or to the bottom side of it's gapping below its ATR, way below its ATR? That's irregular as well. So sometimes this level becomes some type of support if it has pretty good catalyst and it wants to stay irregular. It'll stay above this, but this ATR is at 381, which it is heading back down to kind of quickly. But yeah, they can act as supports and resistance, or they can act as stop locations where you can place a stop, see if it rises above and continues to be irregular, place the next stop, and then if you're swinging day to day, you would just use it until it stops you out on the previous days, probably the previous day's low. But yeah, you just keep on holding and holding and holding as it moves higher if it's going to be regular to the upside. But in day trading, short term, I look at it as a short term support. Especially if it's already over, it'll come down and kind of think at this level, the 382s. It'll slow down here, and you may see a little bit of buying. But with this kind of catalyst, I'm not sure how much buying you're gonna see. See, TS, what is it? Gold? Tanzania gold moving on up. So people are definitely in fear mode right now. They're dumping into gold. A lot of times when things ease up, prices get a little bit better. People start selling their gold, taking profit off of gold, and moving into other sectors. But if there is fear, we'll run to gold. All right, so it's coming down to that ATR level that we were talking about here. Probably going to take a little pause break here at this ATR before it re-enters this level, but we'll see. This is what, 380? Morning, Danielle. See if it stops there at that ATR 380. Oh, candle hadn't closed yet, but they're thinking about it. They see that ATR. They see it. But now it's only up 14%. So those shorts are probably going to get even more aggressive on it because once they get under 20% and they kind of start fading, it's hard for them to get back up to that 2% once all the shorts sit down on it. It's about to close this candle here, right on that 380 mark where the ATR is. Tapping it, tapping it, tapping it, thinking about it, thinking about it. A lot of thinking at that ATR, man. Right out the ATR, thinking about it. But sitting down heavy right there. Little thinking, but now we're getting a little pass through. That's a full test through it now. Gonna go ahead, yep. They thought about it. Then they look back at the news and they're like, you know what? This isn't worth it. This isn't worth it. Dump this thing. So now it's only up 9% there. We'll see if that ATR becomes some type of resistance, or maybe it'll just continue to flow down. I don't know. But the ATRs really don't mean anything if there's not good catalysts. Like good catalysts, if it comes down to ATR like that, it could definitely bounce back up quite a bit and break highs off of ATR. But bad catalysts, not so much. Well, not just bad, but weak catalysts could that same result. And now the ATR is becoming some type of resistance, hitting this little head right there at the 380s. Yeah, only up 11% now. Okay, so what is this? NAM. NAM has been moving a lot. I don't even know. It doesn't even have fresh news, but it's been one of those movers over the last couple of days. 3 million shares. It's up 22%. It's a 20% struggler. TRX 20% struggler. Struggling for dear life is what I don't want to see. Now, if you're struggling with good news, like you're struggling to move around with good news, I'm okay with that. I may take a position, but you don't have any kind of news, no fresh catalysts, and you're struggling. I don't know, man. It's hard to estimate when the gas will be hit. Damn, coming on down, hit $8, came back down to 780s. Yeah, that's a TOS script, but literally the all it's doing is adding and subtracting the ATR. So it's basically ATR, the ATR function, add and subtract from the close of previous day. That's literally it. And you can, yes, like a dotted line drawing or whatnot, dotted line drawing, and yeah, it'll just draw the lines there every day where the ATRs are. Now these are previous days ATRs. My other script does a dynamic ATR. So basically, when it opens, when the wherever it opens at, it does a 14 bar active dynamic ATR. So 14 bars back, it'll pop up a new ATR for intraday up here. But it doesn't work during pre-market. So that's why pre-market trading is kind of hard for me because I don't know where the ATRs are, where the new ones are based on the last 14 bars. That's why a lot of times during pre-market, I'm like, do I want to trade this without all the information that I usually use? You know, kind of take a gamble there. Gamble there. Now during intraday, once it gets above ATR highs, it's usually pretty bullish. To continue being kind of strong and below the ATRs. Now, if it's below the ATRs again with good catalysts, I will trade under the ATRs because I'm like, all right, this is an irrational move on good catalysts. Let's see if we can get a move up. Now, if it's trading above the ATRs with bad news or weak news, I'm like, no, could drop. Got a ways to drop. You know, CTK just kind of hugging the ATR right now, not really much off of it. At 380 level, guess they're okay with this price. Damn. Damn. They're chopping around. Only 3 million shares traded though. All right. Well, got about 7 minutes left. I haven't seen anything that I'm like super gung ho about, and we've seen the new things pop up after the open, but no real moves off of them. All right. So here is ECTK again, just in this level. More and more wicks around this 380 level. Only up 11%. So the chances that it gets back up to, 50% is super low. All right, there's ATRs selling off there. Came up, tested this, bumped its head a little bit. Looks like it wants to go down and test even lower. The low of day was 360, or low of pre-market was 360, going down even lower. So yeah, re-entered that zone, and now it's not really abnormal because it's not outside of either of the ATRs. And you could do this calculation easily. You could pull up you don't need this. At first, before I started doing this whole graph thing or whatever on the chart, I just pulled up my calculator, took the closing price, added the ATR, subtract the ATR, and you could literally just draw a line out here where the ATRs are. So, use that and say, okay, is this thing actually working? Does this actually, once it's above ATR highs, does it get sporadically more bullish? And when it's below ATR lows, does it get sporadically more bearish? And you'll see over, whatever statistic of time or whatever quantity of samples that you pull, how that is in your statistics. So when you take a trade, you say, okay, was that trade above ATRs? Was it in this middle or was it below? And how was the reaction with that specific type of catalyst? Good catalyst, bad catalyst, what was it? No catalyst, and how did it continue to move? Right. Yeah. The overall market is moving down as well. I'm surprised the NAM isn't. NAM has a beta score of 2.02, so it's kind of a weaker follower. So we'll see how that reacts. But no, why it's doing all this exploding up? Kind of weird. But TRX gave back a lot of its stuff. It was at 149 yesterday. This one was the one with the investment intent. Chopped around all morning and then waited till almost lunchtime to explode out here to that 150 level that was mentioned in the investment of intent. And so if you were morning time trading, you got chopped up, no breakouts, and then all the way to lunchtime, then you get the breakout up to 150, and now it's all the way back down to 84 cents. So yeah, headed back down to the 60 cent level pretty fast. Down 36% today. ECX came down here towards the ATRs, didn't really break it down yet. Tested it down here, so a couple of tests. That regain compliance really isn't a hot catalyst. It's up 37% with 17 million shares traded, but yeah, I'm expecting that one to break on down. All right, well, I'm about to shut it down. I don't see anything. Usually, the things that I do best on, they usually are already up. They got some structure built out. Maybe something pops up a little bit later, but I'm about to head to the other office and make some money today. So no rush, no rush. And it is the end of the month. Today is the 29th. So we have one more trading day, which is Friday. Something else just popped up, APRE. APRE right here. Well, it's a dollar and something, 97 cents. Why are you up? It says Apria announces a 5.6 million private placement priced at the market under NASDAQ rules. It commences a 5.6 million offering of 6.28 common shares and warrants at 89 cents. So that's not crazy news. Um, let's see. And then behind that, they have, so after they mentioned offering news, they immediately followed that up with what they're doing with their drug. So that's kind of like a cheap shot. It's basically saying, hey, we're doing an offering, but we're also doing this with our drug. No one cares. You're diluting your stock. You know, that's straight up dilution. So go ahead and mark that, notate that. Diluting stock with offering by offering. That's crazy how they play like that. They immediately, like a minute later, after they put the offering news, they put out their medical news. Right? Yeah. Dilution by offering. So that's dead already. Back down to 4%. Round trip up to 109. Selling off completely. And the thing is, with these people that do the automated trading, they train their robots to go and look for these keywords. Hey, look for the word offering, look for the word acquisition, look for the word merger, look for the word collaboration. Check all the documentation that you can find. If you see this, stay away. So they train their robots and their bots to do these things that we do, manually. They do them a lot faster than we do. So Yes, yeah, it's gonna get an initial buy up like it just did, but as soon as that robot sees that dilution of offering, boop, right on back down to 76 cents. All right, but anyway, I gotta get off of here. Gotta get on down the road. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. I will. Yesterday was busy. Today's probably gonna be busy as well. We'll see. I kind of like to see things that are moving during the pre-market. So we haven't seen a whole bunch of things, and we're coming. We got an hour left into the open, and so if anything does pop up, it's got to build structure. It's got to do X, Y, Z, and whatever, and it's got to compete. It's got to compete against these things that have almost 20 million shares traded on them already. And then over here, 40 million shares traded over here on these stocks that are not performing well. SER and GS or GCTS. But yeah, that's pretty much it for me today. Appreciate y'all. If you're going to continue trading, definitely keep your head on the swivel. For me, I just need to do the research. I kind of got lax a couple of days, and now, I'm like, wait. I'm messing up. Let's get back on the horse. Let's go ahead and make a little bit of green. Actually read through the catalyst, because a lot of these they're playing games. They'll give a headline, either it's a good headline with something bad in the rest of the paragraphs or whatever article, or it's in the headline something that's like, wait a minute, what do you mean by that? Wait a minute. So I got to kind of stop. And a lot of times I do better when I see the catalyst more than once. So if I come in and I see it the first time and I trade off of that first time, that first instance, I just feel stupid. But if I see it, take a break, go for a walk, come back, see it again, I'm like, okay, it's starting to make sense, getting more eyes on it, more time on it. But yeah, I got to get out of here. Appreciate y'all once again. And as always, y'all in the next one. Peace.